Alright, we're back on the Beezer today. How's it going, folks? Yeah, so you gotta pad out the mouth here. I'm just gonna talk us through as we go through because it's gonna probably be a couple videos. It's gonna take a few. It's gonna take a little bit, but anyway. So you see the mouth here of your crankcases. You know, you don't want a circlip, gudgeon pin, or wrist pin clip, spiral lock, whatever you want to call it, snap ring. You don't want it falling down in the bottom end when you do your wrist pin. You know, the first one you do in your piston, you do it out here, and then when you put it on, you slide it over here, the small bush, and the con rod, the small end of the con rod. You might end up dropping one, so that's why you pad out this stuff. And this engine's been all rebuilt, so everything on it is super clean. But if you're just doing like a ring job or something, and you've got an old engine that's all dirty, you know, and you're just replacing the rings, when you're pulling this stuff apart, you might have dirt and oil and chunks of crap that's gonna fall down in the bottom end as you're taking, you know, a cylinder off or pistons or whatnot. And you know, you got broken rings or something, you slide the jug off and all the pieces fall on the bottom end, and you know, your bottom end was good until that happened, kind of thing, per se, or whatever. But okay, so this wrench here, you got to bring these rods top dead center, bring them up, because we're going to use these blocks here. It's just 5/8, 5/8, 9 inches long. Go across the base here. Some people use a steel rod or whatever. You know, I just went over to Ace and got this stuff. So pull these off. These covers here, real nice. Keep your stuff in good condition. Set those over here and reuse those. So there they are, all nice and pretty. You have some non-detergent 30 weight in here, clean new oil. When you put the wrist pin in, you're going to squirt in here and in here, and it makes the installation easier. You got to check the fit, make sure it's like super tight, like not a lot of no up and down like play. It's just sliding in like a tight interference where it just goes in. Your gudgeon pin, wrist pin, whatnot. You're gonna have to use this oil to oil up the rings and the bore, the inside of this bore. So on the startup, it's not a dry startup. A lot of people argue about that. Some people think that the rings wear in better when dry, and other people say wet with oil. So I'm going with the wet. But anyway, these are some compressors, hose clamps. Use those for the rings. So also, you could get a heat gun if you want. Heat up the bottom of these the pistons. If it makes the piston, makes it the gudgeon pin easier to install. Heat up the bottom right here, these skirts. So get all this stuff out here and ready to go, because we're gonna try and do this today. When you do these ring with the squish here, like high compression pistons, one cutaway is bigger, and the bigger cutaway goes to the inlet. That's how those work. So if you have, you know, the stock ones like these are just equal, so it doesn't matter which side, which way they're facing. If you're using your old pistons though, you want to mark them on the inside and set them aside and put them back in the exact same jug, you know, left or right, that they came from, in the same direction, because the rings have worn in a certain way and you want that same pattern. You don't want to start changing things up, so you always do that. But these are all brand new. It's got a brand new bore and hone, so it doesn't matter. They're gonna, once these go in though, if I ever take them out, they're still good and the bore's still good, you know. You put them back in the exact same place, so these don't matter. With the bore, the crosshatch, like a used cylinder you pull off, You want to leave a ring of carbon, the top like a 1/4 inch or so, whatever, along the top. You don't mess with that. You leave that there, and then the top of these domes, the crowns, when you scrape off all the carbon, you want to leave a ring of carbon around the edge of that too, if they're used. These are new, so you don't worry about that. Also, if your crosshatch and your bore, you can use some fine grit sandpaper, and you can get in there. When you sand it, you have to go in a pattern like this, and then this way, so it's an X, and you just, you know, clean it all up on the inside or whatnot. Let's see what else. Oops. Well, yeah, the base gasket. So don't forget your base gasket, folks, or you'll be fucking redoing shit like me. But anyway, yeah, so we're not all perfect. But anyway, these books aren't all perfect either. So I'm going to show you real quick, and then go to video 2. There's this Haynes, there's this Mike Brown. You know, it's a good book. This guy tells you all little nidbits, tidbits. This is the factory service manual, which sucks too. Climbers, 1972. That was an old book my old man had from days ago. The newer climbers. They all say different shit. They're all different, you know. But what you need is you need these the specs. You need your ring gap. You need to know what that is. You know, 8/1000ths to 13/1000ths. So that's it. You know, you gotta. I'll show you how to do those. That's what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna get the ring gap going. I'll put this big gasket on, and then we'll start another vid. All right.